Okay, I just watched Anthony Fantano's video from a couple of days ago talking about new LCD Soundsystem single Drunk Girls, and this isn't really a direct response to anything he said on this video, to be honest, because basically it comes a few days late. You know, Record Store Day was on Saturday, and that's like the main thing I wanted to talk about, really. Like the record I purchased that day, and a bit about the one I purchased the day before as well. But as for that single by LCD Soundsystem, I heard it a few times before I saw your review, and I wasn't very impressed with it at all, to be honest. It's just like, I'm a big LCD Soundsystem fan, yeah, and I like a lot of the stuff from DFA Records. I brought like a few of their compilations, and it kind of like got me back into kind of dance music, or music that is strictly there like for like danceable purposes. With LCD Soundsystem, they're a bit different, you know, they're a bit genre bending. They throw in a lot of punk and new wave and indie sounds too, and you know, I shouldn't really been surprised by this single, because it does kind of like follow it on from like the tongue-in-cheek fun vein of things that North American Scum was like, and Daft Punk Is Playing in My House and songs like that. But I wasn't really impressed with it first few times around. I thought, oh man, you know, it just sounds a bit like ugh, to me. But upon listening to it more after your review, I realised there are some pretty damn funny lyrics in there, and some of the sounds as well are like pretty weird, especially James Murphy saying, oh, here's the guitar part, and then like singing the guitar part kind of like out of tune and that too. Yeah, I don't know, just a bit, has a bit of a glam feel to it, has a bit of rock and roll feel to it. You know, it does sound like it could have been from the 70s, but I don't know, I guess this is like the kind of LCD Soundsystem thing that doesn't impress me too much. I'm more of a fan of like songs like Losing My Edge and Yeah and stuff like that. But like you say, I'm very intrigued to hear like the whole album as well, because I am a fan of the band, of course. They are wicked, and if you get a chance to see them live, you've got to do it, because they don't disappoint at all. But yeah, that was just some thoughts on that. As for Record Store Day, I actually forgot that it was going to be Record Store Day on Saturday till a few days before. I haven't been online a lot in the past week. In England, there was like a few like special day releases. There was like a new Blur song on a 7-inch vinyl that I was hoping to get. But I didn't actually go out to like town till like quite later in the day that day. I was quite busy on Friday and on Saturday morning. The day before on Friday, I was actually went to the city, one of the cities nearby called Exeter, which still has a few independent record shops, but not as many as it used to. It's quite a dying thing these days, but it's not totally dead, because there's still some around, which is very good, you know. I mean I think like cities and towns definitely need independent record shops selling, you know, more of the rarer stuff that you wouldn't get in like HMV or somewhere like that. But the day before I went to FOP, which isn't really an independent record shop anymore, because I think HMV own it, but I got The Roots, Game Theory, which is a pretty good album. Basically, if you don't know, The Roots it's kind of like a band setup, but to do with like rap and soul and funk. You know, they really break it out. They've worked with Jay Dilla before, and I think Guestlove is like the drummer in there. He's also a famous producer. A good art. I got this for £3 day before, and on actual Record Store Day, I went to my local town. There's a record shop called Black Cat Records. I went there too late because apparently they had a band playing there called Cosmo Jarvis. I don't know what they're like, but I've seen them in like music publications in well, in NME basically. That's like a music publication in this country. But it's pretty cool going there. I only like went there for like half hour. That's like probably the most independent one that's left in my local town now. There used to be quite a few towards the late 90s, but when like a Virgin opened up and then later HMV, it just doesn't seem much. I mean, there's a Martian Records as well. That's still fairly independent, but it does like cater to like a lot more of the metal kind of side of things. And yeah, it's still like a kind of chain as well, like for the southwest of England. There's about 4 Martian record shops like situated in places. And Black Cat Records used to be called Rooster Records, but the guy that owned it has actually moved to the city I went to, Exeter, on Friday, and he's opened a Rooster Records now. There now, and Black Cat Records is still there. It's carried on for Rooster. Quite a small shop. It's on the corner of a street. Sells a lot of vinyl, a lot of CDs. And when I went in there for that little bit of the day, it was cool because outside they had a whole load of CDs for sale for about £2.50 each. All stuff that was full price before, but for record store day they decided to cheapen it up. And also they had a special offer on Domino Records albums in there, like £4.95 a piece, you know, for like Animal Collective, Fortet and Neutral Milk Hotel releases. Pretty good, but a lot of those I had anyway. But I went rooting through the £2.50 thing and I came across this Tomahawk Mitgas album. And I'm a fan of Mike Patton, always have been, but like, I haven't really like delved much into like his work other than Faith No More and a few FANTANO albums. And I just thought I'd get this like for an educated risk, and it's very good, you know, very good. It's like kind of what I expected, but not really as weird as what I'd expected it to be, you know, because in FANTANO, even though it's like very orchestrated, there's like lots of acts of like random bits of musical notation, and like especially like Mike Patton on vocals as well. It's a bit like more structured, a bit direct, still very diverse, good stuff, a lot more accessible than FANTANO. I think Faith No More fans will really dig this actually, and Mr. Bungle fans as well. You know, very diverse album, Tomahawk Mitgas, and that was what I brought on Record Store Day. This video's gone on way longer than I wanted it to be, and I just thought I'd make it as a response to Anthony concerning Record Store Day, which was on Saturday the 17th, and the LCD Soundsystem single. But yeah, that's what I purchased on that day of Record Store Day, Tomahawk Mitgas. If you like your kind of like crazy rock music and with a bit of a dash of experimentation, but still fairly straightforward within that realm, check Tomahawk out. Good stuff.